Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a vlog about FIT, everything I have kind of experienced, just what I think of everything and such like that. So I'm just gonna go down. I have like a list on my iPad, so I'm just gonna go down and like make a couple points about FIT and stuff like that. So the first one is that I actually came to another college before I went to FIT, and it was so lenient. We really didn't have rules. Like, obviously you're not supposed to like make a scene in front of class or anything, or like you should just be really quiet and considerate when class is in session, but like I feel like people were just like really stupid and like their phones would go off all the time, and like people would like talk in class, and it was like really bad. But like here, I guess I'm a little bit more appreciative is because they're serious here because they want you to do well, which I really appreciate. So like I said, for my other college, we really couldn't miss, like we could miss class however much we want. Like we didn't have to go to class. But for FIT, you are only allowed to miss twice. If you miss more, you need an absence with a sheet saying like, okay, this is excused. But my teachers literally told me to my face, they were like, if you miss, not to my face, just to the whole class, but they were saying like, if you miss 3 classes, then you're pretty much done. Like, we're gonna ask you to drop the course because you're gonna fail. So they're just like, they're super serious about that. Because it's a SUNY college, and I guess because there's like a waiting list to get into this school, I mean, it makes sense, but like, it's really like, because like COVID now, they said are excused absences. So like if you get COVID, you have to quarantine for 5 days. Those are your absences right there. So like if you get like a cold, which I do get cold sometimes, so hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll see. It just makes me nervous. So anyhow, the next one is that, like I said, my other college was so different in Louisiana, but like this one, they are so protective, I think. Like, we have a whole, we have, oh wow, okay. They're like on the same street is like one of the offices where all the security guards stay. They have so many security guards here, you would not believe. Like, each of the dorms, the wind is blowing right now, so literally this keeps blowing, so sorry about that. But like you would not believe like the amount of security guards on campus. Every building has like, well, when you walk into the doors on all the buildings, they each have at least 2 to 5 people per entrance. And then for my dorm, all of the dorms have security guards. A lot of the times there's 2 of them sitting there at the same time. But they're just so serious. Like, you have to show them your ID card when you get in, and then you have to scan it in so that the little gates will open for you. But like, they are so serious about it. And like, a lot of the time, like, I'll have my box of food with my drink, with my ID because I have to scan myself in, with my phone because I'm trying to listen to music, or on the phone or something since I'm walking. And like, literally, I'm carrying it like this, having such a hard time. And like, sometimes they're like, well, let me just open the gate for you because I just showed them my ID. So obviously I'm a student there, and obviously I live there. But it is like, they are serious about that. And if you want to have an overnight guest, you have to fill out a form. Your roommate has to approve, which that was not a rule at my other college. Like, you could just have a guest whenever, like overnight, or you could just bring a guest up to your room. You just didn't have to do all of this. In my other college, none of the dorms had security at all. You could just go up freely. You do have to stay with your guest the whole time though. At least you did in the girls' hall. It's the same here. Like, you have to be with your guests at the same time in the girls' hall. I'm not sure about the other halls, but I think you're supposed to be with them at all times. So the next one is the meal plan. This thing is so aggravating. So aggravating. So the meal plan, this was also so different as well. So at my other college, you had like, you couldn't go into the dining hall unless you swipe your card. So you swipe your card, you don't know what they're having, but they have so many different like stations. Like, they had like a noodle station, they had a sandwich station, they had a burger station, they had a salad station. Like, they have so many different stations. So you had to do your card first, and then you just get to eat however many plates you want. They wouldn't tell you no. But here, it's like, you don't have to swipe your card. You can go see what you want, but like, you can go into the dining hall, see what you want. If you don't like anything, you just walk out. But you are literally, like, you get, the first day I got such a small portion of dinner, it was like really sad. And a lot of times it's just not good. And they literally had one of the cooks sneeze onto someone's burger and then tell the girl, "You didn't see that," and proceeded to not wash their hands. Gross. Fair warning, it's kind of nasty. They don't really care. Anywho, so for the meal plans here, they are so expensive, outrageously expensive, but it's cheaper than not having a meal plan in New York City. So it kind of goes hand in hand. If you're not from here, it's crazy expensive, but if you're trying to live here, regardless, it's cheaper, I guess, depending on how much you eat. But I keep getting off key. Anywho, the dining hall, you get like one entree, you get one entree, one side, one dessert, and you can't like, one of the guys who got like a sandwich at the sandwich station, he went to the burger station and got try and get fries, and one of the cooks was like, well, you can't mix and match, you got a sandwich so you have to get a bag of chips, you can't get fries. So I don't know if all of the people care about that, but this one cook did, so I don't really know. And then they have like a sushi bar. I'm always at the sushi bar, but like, the sushi bar is like literally, you get one roll. That is your meal plan. Like, you can get a bag of chips, you can get, if they have 2 cookies, or if it's not cookies, if it's like a brownie, you can get 1. Otherwise, they'll charge you. But you can't like mix and match. And like, they have all of these other chips too. It's one room. The dining hall is one room, but they have all these stations in the one room. They also have all of these fridges with bottled drinks, which on the first day I had to pay for my bottle drink because they don't tell you unless you ask, like, hey, is the bottle part of the meal plan? No, it's not. You have to get a cup in those nasty watered down soda machines. So there's that. And then, yeah, like I said, sometimes they like try and see if you're stealing 2 brownies to try and get away with it. So they will check sometimes because people do that. And then like today, you could get 2 cookies with your meal plan. I got 2 cookies, and one of the cashier ladies was like, how many cookies you got? And I'm like, 2. She's like, so it's just like a little bit passive aggressive, but that's just a little fair warning. Let me see. One of the things I like about FIT is that they give us a free Calm subscription, and if you don't know what that is, it's like an app where they have like really calming, like you can listen to it on your headphones or you could just put it on speaker, but it's like they have really calming little sessions for you to listen to, kind of like Spotify, but like calming, sort of, to help like calm you down. There's one for like panic. Like one day I was like a real emotional wreck. I was just not having a good day, and because they give us the free premium Calm subscription, I was just like listening to it and helped me feel a little bit better. So I do appreciate that. The next one, oh my gosh, I'm trying to give them some slack. So this was like, let me see, I don't know if there's a Starbucks on campus. I don't know if it opened the first or the second week of school. I should have wrote it down, but I didn't, but I don't really remember. But however, the first time Starbucks opened for the fall semester was, they're supposed to open at 7:30. They're just kind of, they don't have it together. Like, that's the, I don't want to be rude, so I'm just going to say it, they don't have it together. So a lot of times they're supposed to open at 7:30. A lot of times they won't open till like, you won't start getting your order in till 7:38, which like, it's not a big deal. But like, if you have an 8 a.m. class and like you want to sit down, like me, like I want to get there early. I want to be in front of my classroom, sitting down, eating my food before I go in class, because they are strongly against having food in classrooms. You can bring your Starbucks drink, you can have your water. You cannot bring food. They will flip out. So there's that. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like 8 minutes, it's not that big of a deal. But like, if you're in a rush, like for an 8 a.m. class, or like if you sleep in, there's a really long line sometimes, and like you're gonna be late to class. And one of my teachers actually said, like, if you're 30 minutes late, then that counts as one absence. So that's, you really have to be careful because they are very strict here. And another thing about Starbucks is that, like, I think they have like all new people or mostly new people because, like, the first couple of times, like, I ordered like a pumpkin frappuccino and they didn't know how to make it, and they were trying to like read the description on how to make it. And I'm like, thankfully this wasn't one of the days that they started to open super late, but they're just very new. So like you gotta relax in the morning, and I'm trying to tell myself that because like I want to be to the class at a certain time, but it's like, you know. And then sometimes like they just don't get your order right. So like sometimes I'm just like, okay, I'll just deal with it. But like the other day, like they got it wrong, and it had been such a bad day, and I'm like, can I please just have what I ordered? Because like I got like a pumpkin chai tea latte, but I ordered the pumpkin ice latte, and I just don't like the taste of the foam. So I actually spoke up that day, but like, I don't know. My experience is okay. Like they're nice, but you know, take it how you want. Um, Something I really like about the environment here, about a lot of the people here, are the FIT students. Like everybody thrifts here. Like nobody. I mean, people shop. Obviously, it's just common nature. People shop, but like anybody you ask on this campus will not say like that they don't thrift. Every single person I've ever talked to on this campus thrifts. 3/4 of the students here only wear thrifted clothing, and it's just very sustainable nowadays. Like, I know sometimes you'll hear like people are trying to be more sustainable, companies really want to take more accountability with that, but it's just really nice to see that like students are taking it so seriously. So yeah, it's really cool. Like they have a lot of thrift stores here. I actually went for the first time yesterday with some friends because they showed me all the good spots. They have some thrift stores, and they have like designer stuff. Like one of my friends, she got a Prada purse at the thrift store yesterday for $200, and like that's a steal. That is actually such a good deal. So she bought it. But anyway, it's just, you never know what you're gonna find. Um, so the first week of school, something that was like really aggravating, this never actually happened to me, but every time it does happen, they will send the students an email saying, hello, this happened, just want you to be aware. In the first week of school, literally, I'm not even joking, 5 times, there was a fire alarm go off in the same building. And like I said, thankfully I wasn't in class for that because it was so hot. It's still a little bit warm, but like this was such a warm September, and to have no AC in this building, I couldn't even get under the covers. I didn't even want my blanket to touch me. It was a nightmare. So for 5 times to have your building like you have to be walked out of your building 5 different times in 1 week, it's just kind of like, it just kind of throws me off. Like, why can't you guys fix this system or something? And then the basement actually caught on fire too. So that's just kind of like all in the first week. Like, what's going on, FIT? And then one of the things that I'm just like, I don't even know why I wrote this down. I think I was just having like a really bad morning. I don't remember if it was, there's a Starbucks right across the street from FIT, and there's one on campus. I can't remember which one it was, but like, I think one of the mornings when I was like rushing to class, I was like, hey, can I have, what was it? Can I have a medium pumpkin spice frappuccino? That's what I said. That was what I ordered. And cashier was like, oh, okay, this was the Starbucks right across the street. And the girls knew. And she was like, grande? Like, kind of like, she said it like with attitude. And it was like, I was kind of laughing about it, like in my mind. I was kind of like, did she really just like feel the need to interrupt me about that I used the wrong term for this? So that didn't really have anything to do with FIT. I just thought it was like really funny. Like, I was so not in a good mood that day, and I was really like, okay, somebody's about to get smacked. So I just thought that was really funny. let me see. One of the one of the pains of having to deal with classes here is you have to cite literally everything. And my other college never did this at all. Like if we would write like a big essay, of course you'd have to have like a reference page and like maybe some maybe a couple in-text citations so that we know like you're not just stealing someone's work. That was common sense. But like here it's like you have to cite every single thing, and it is so time consuming. And they want us to like do it more like in APA format is what they do here. They want us to make us practice because you have to be credible. There's a lot of people out there that like are not credible, and they're like, where'd you get your source? They're like, oh, I can't tell you that. But this is why I know why they make us do so much citing, but it really is time consuming and I really don't like it. But like for every single homework assignment, like you have to cite pictures in your PowerPoints, you have to cite your sentences, you have to have reference pages, you have to do APA cover pages, and it's just, it depends on the class for sure, but it is just so much work. And then it was like a Friday morning, and or maybe it was either a Friday or a Saturday, and it was like maybe 90 degrees here, maybe like 87. It was hot. And I tried to walk in through one of the buildings. So like my hall's here, and then right across the street is another building. And the next building across the street goes like this. It's like you can walk right across the street, go into the building, and then walk through the buildings to get to the dining hall. And it was so hot that I didn't want to be sweating. So it was like a Friday or Saturday. I tried to go into the building and walk through to go so I didn't have to be sweating outside. And she's like, I showed her my card. I started walking to go scan myself in. She's like, where are you going? Where are you going? And I'm like, to the dining hall. And she's like, there's no class in session. You gotta go outside. You gotta go. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, I know that you're enjoying your nice time in your chair and you can't let me walk to the dining hall, but like, it was just so unnecessary. So they're serious about that. And then another thing I'm really adjusting to here is the buildings. First of all, it looks like an actual prison here. It's very ugly. The school is very ugly, I mean. And one of the things I really appreciate about my other college is that like each floor of the dorms had like a little study room. It wasn't big, it wasn't anything super nice, but it was nice. Like it was a study room, you know? And even in the other buildings here, they have very, very few study rooms, and I just don't like that. Like if you're in the cafeteria, there's only like 2 seats in the whole cafeteria with an outlet right next to it. And one of the things that I'm still adjusting to is back in Louisiana, it was so hot all the time that like they would crank that AC, and every classroom would be like 60 degrees. It would be so cold in there because it's so hot outside. But it's like here, they just don't do that, and like so everybody's got their sweaters on and stuff, and I'm just sitting here like I'm literally sweating in a tank top because I'm used to like the hot weather with the cold classrooms. But like as soon as we get like one little gust of wind, it's like they shut off all of the AC, and it's just like it's definitely an adjustment. I don't like it at all, but I guess I'm not from here, so I'm not used to like their weather and what they do and stuff. So let's see what else. Website links don't work. Okay, so I gotta say at least half of the links on FIT's and not Instagram, half the links on FIT's website do not work. They say page not found or just something like that. Like for example, overnight guests, that I want to go read more about it on my Fit portal, and it takes me to the website. It says page not found. Well, that's like half of their website says page not found. I think like as a personal preference, that's how I feel. Like every time I'm going to look for something, oh, page not found. So I have to like email about it, and like they never really email you back. And like if they do, it takes like 2 weeks. Very, very rarely is it like, unless you put like urgent in it, does they answer you quicker. I need a sip of water. Okay. Like I was saying earlier, I mentioned this like just for a second. If you want to have a guest in your hall, in your dorm, you need to make an appointment, which is really frustrating because like if say your mom surprises you at your dorm one day, you have to make an appointment. And then for overnight visitations, you only get 30, like I think per semester, or maybe it's per year. I'm not really sure, but I think it's per semester. You get like 30 overnight visitations, but you have to do it like the day before because at 4 p.m. of that night, like it cuts off. Like you cannot fill out a form for overnight visitation at like 4:30 because it won't get approved till like the next day, and it's too late at that point. So, another thing I'm not sure if I like yet, it's just such a hustle culture here, which like I do like that. However, like the AAS program, Applied Associate Degree programs, there's a 1 year which I'm doing. It's like accelerated. I think AAS is accelerated associate, something like that. So anywho, the AAS, 3/4 of the people, I'm not sure if it's all, but I think personally it's very uncommon. Like if you were not to take 7 classes, I think that's very uncommon because it's such a hustle culture here, and because like there's like a waiting list to get into the school. And I think a lot of the prereqs like you can't really do like with other courses, if that makes sense. So I actually dropped a couple courses because like at first I really wanted to do the entire 1 year program, but like I already have my bachelor's. I got my bachelor's in marketing this past May. So I think because I'm taking out like all of my own money for this program, I think I just felt more comfortable doing like a couple courses that I'm not so familiar with. So like December might be like when I quit. I'm not really sure yet what's gonna happen. Or I might change my mind. I might stay out. I don't really know yet. However, each class is like 3 hours long. It's very, very rare to get like a class here that's not 3 hours long. And my other college was very different. They did classes 2 days a week, so it was an hour and a half, an hour and a half. I only have one of those classes that's split, but all of the other ones are 3 hours. And for the most part, they will give you like a 15-minute break for each class. One of my classes, it's supposed to be from 8:10 to 11, but instead of doing that, he said, oh, don't worry about it. You can just come from 8:30 and I'll get you out of here by 10:30. So instead of having a break, we get to come late and leave early. So I really like that. But yeah, for the most part, classes are 3 hours. It gets really, really uncomfortable. For me personally, it gets so hard to sit still. So I appreciate how they give us like a little break in the 3 hour session. Let me see. But like I was saying, like it's very, I think, uncommon to not take the 7 courses if you're in the accelerated 1 year AAS program. For me personally, I chose to drop some of the courses because I already have a bachelor and because a lot of my things would not transfer. But there's no point in me paying so much, like thousands of dollars for a course I've already taken, but they just don't think can transfer because they don't think it's similar enough, even though it's the exact same thing. Like one of the classes that wouldn't transfer is retail math, and like I took that last semester at my other college right before I graduated, and they are making me take it again, and it's so time consuming that like there's no point in me taking it again if I already took the class. I already have the knowledge. So another thing, this one was really frustrating actually. So the first week of class, like I was saying, there's really like no study rooms whatsoever, and if there are, it's just everyone's there all the time because everyone's fighting for them. I feel like like at my other college, there was like an abundance of work areas, of study rooms. You could go wherever you wanted, and like chances are you could have it to yourself, or like there wouldn't be like a whole bunch of people. But because there's so few study rooms, and like you're not allowed, unless you go get permission from someone, you're not allowed to go study in a classroom. So yeah, I mean, that's my personal, like, that's how I feel about it, is that like there's just really nowhere to study here. Um, so I don't know. Take it how you want. One of the things that was kind of frustrating was like, this is what I was trying to mention before, is due to like the lack of study areas, I like Nagler Hall, like once you enter Nagler Hall, they're on the bottom floor. There's a small workroom sort of, but like you can go through those double doors, and like outside there's a courtyard. You have to go through the dorm to get to the courtyard. So I really liked having access to that courtyard because it has a table where you can get your work done, and there wasn't like, there's so many people on campus all over outside sometimes. So like I really liked how there was a courtyard and I could kind of have it to myself to get my work done, where people weren't like running around screaming on the phone super loud and obnoxious. But then after like that first week of me using the courtyard, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is my stuff, like this is where I'm gonna be all semester doing my work, like I love this. The very next day, they literally sent out an email to the school, or to Nagler students, and they're like, you are not allowed to go out into the courtyard anymore. They're doing construction back there. Until further notice, you cannot go back there. And I'm just sitting here like, are you serious right now? Like, that's just such a mood killer. Okay, another thing is that like this might not be a big deal to some people. Like, I don't do this, so I don't really care, but like a lot of these teachers are very in sync about a lot of things, and one of them is that you cannot chew gum. And like I know that's kind of a rule, like it was a rule at my other college, but like I still don't really understand, like unless you're like popping bubbles, I really don't see why it matters, but they are very strict. Like one of my teachers, different topic a little bit, but one of my teachers, he literally like tried to fight with me the other day because I told him like, look, I have this family emergency, so I'm gonna miss school on the week of September 25th. And he was like, oh, I completely understand. I talked to him in class and to his face. And then the next day, I just wanted to have it in writing saying that I talked to him. So I emailed him, and I was like, hey, I'm the one who talked to you about my family emergency. I just wanted to have it in writing that I will miss, I think September 25th, I think was the day of the class. And I was looking at the syllabus because he didn't tell me this. Like, I know I probably should have checked myself on my own syllabus, but you would have thought that if I told him the date I would miss, he would be like, well, you can't miss, you have an exam. Well, he didn't say that. So after I talked to him, he's like, oh, no big deal. Miss class, do what you gotta do. Just take the time that you need, basically. So after that, I booked my flight ticket home and back, and because I'm going home for a week. And that's when I emailed him the next day. I was like, look, I'm looking at my syllabus and I see that we have an exam on this day. Is there a way for me to take it virtually and get like screen monitored? Because I really want to take this exam. I didn't realize that I would be missing it. And basically he was kind of yelling at me over email saying like, well, this has been in the syllabus since August. You should have read it. It was emailed to all of you that it was in the syllabus, blah, 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 blah. And did you do your homework? And I'm like, this was all in an email. And I emailed him back. I was like, wait, yes, I did my homework. Why? And he was like, well, you don't have your name. Well, this was because we had to have like an APA cover page, like I was saying before. And so like you had to have like 6 different lines of like information, and there was like each chapter we have to do a summary, and that's for the homework. We have to print it out and put it on his desk before class starts at 8 a.m. So with all of this information, and we need a reference page, with all of this information that I did, I must have forgot to put my name on it. And then he was like, I thought he was saying like I had to put my name on all of the other pages even though it was stapled to my cover page. That's what I thought he was saying. So I was like, well, I didn't know we had to put it on the other pages. He was like, well, that's elementary.